Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a hard look at something pretty universal in big business loyalty programs. You know, the ones at your bank, your mobile provider.
Yeah, absolutely. And for decades, they've kind of been seen as just, well, a cost, something you have to do.
A cost center, basically.
Yeah,
A line item.
exactly. But what we're finding and what the data suggests is that this view is actually costing them a lot.
Right. There's this huge potential being missed, isn't there, to flip these from passive cost sinks into dynamic, proactive profit engines.
That's the pivot. That's the core idea we need to dig into. Because if you look closely, especially at the big players, banks, telcos, particularly maybe in, say, Asia, their loyalty setups are fundamentally reactive.
Reactive. Meaning
They only reward you after you've already done something.
Okay, so it's like retrospective loyalty.
Precisely. You open that loan. Great, here are some points. Topped up your phone. Okay, here's some extra data. Paid your bill on time. Maybe a little cash back.
So it's always looking backwards.
Always. It's like they're just settling the books for stuff you already did. An internal accounting ledger, really.
Okay, let's unpack that.
Yeah.
If it's only rewarding past behavior, then yeah, they're completely missing the chance to shape future behavior.
That's the critical window they miss.
So our mission today, for you listening, is to explore how the real value isn't just in settling that account, but in proactively nudging customers, influencing them before they make those key decisions, where to spend, where to save, how to engage. Let's really dive into that trap then, the reactive loyalty trap. Calling it an accounting ledger really drives home that transactional view. What does that view miss?
It misses the power of influence completely. The system's just set up to count things up after they happen. Spend $50, get a point. It's binary.
Just ticking a box.
Pretty much. The program just sits there waiting for the customer to do something, then it reacts. There's no active shaping of behavior in that flow at all.
So they're essentially paying a kind of tax on transactions they already got.
Instead of investing to guarantee more and maybe higher value transactions down the line.
Yeah. And when you think about the kinds of actions these big companies really want customers to take, the high margin stuff, just waiting around feels incredibly inefficient. Let's maybe list a few things that proactive engagement could actually drive, things that hit the bottom line.
Oh, the list is long. It really spans the whole customer journey. Often it's about reducing friction or making the account stickier, like nudging people to finally complete their KYC verification. That's critical for compliance.
Right. The know your customer stuff. Always a hurdle.
Always. Or think about shifting someone who keeps calling the expensive contact center over to using the much cheaper digital banking app. That shift alone saves a fortune.
Huge operational savings there. And then there are the bigger value shifts, aren't there?
Definitely. Getting a customer to upgrade their credit card, pushing a telco user towards a better, maybe bundled plan.
Or the holy grail for banks, getting people to move their main salary deposit over. That creates massive stickiness.
Huge. Or, on the retention side, maybe bringing back dormant app users, people who haven't logged in for months.
Re-engagement.
Exactly. Or using points or rewards to help someone hit a savings goal, which ties them closer to the bank. And crucially, driving high-quality referrals. That directly cuts down on expensive marketing spend.
So the moment you switch from just rewarding completed actions to actively driving those actions with the right incentives at the right time.
That's when you move into behavioral engagement. It stops being just loyalty. It's about actively shaping behavior. That's the key idea.
Okay, but let's be real. Changing habits, how people spend, save, interact with their bank or telco, that's notoriously difficult. It's probably one of the toughest things for a huge company to pull off.
Oh, absolutely. It's not easy. It needs smart data, yes, but also real organizational agility, which is often the bigger challenge.
But if they manage it,
Yeah.
that leads us right to the core economic shift. Loyalty stops being just an expense line.
And becomes a genuine profit engine. The financial implications are, well, transformative.
How so? Walk us through that. When loyalty influences action, instead of just paying for past action, how does the money work differently?
Okay, so when the program is built to influence a profitable action, one that wouldn't have happened otherwise, or maybe happened differently, the budget for that program immediately flips. It's not a liability anymore. It's an investment driving actual profit.
Especially in banking, you mentioned.
Yeah, it's maybe clearest there. Think about every extra transaction you influence, every digital payment, every card swipe that happens because of a nudge.
Okay.
It does two things. One, it adds directly to the bottom line through things like interchange income that small fee banks earn on card
Like
transactions.
interchange. Often overlooked, but adds up massively at scale.
Massively. And two, it enriches their data. Better data means better targeting, better cross-selling opportunities down the road. It feeds the beast, basically.
So it's not just the immediate transaction value, it's the ongoing value, too.
Precisely. And the net result is lifting that customer's overall lifetime value, their LTV. If you can actually measure that influence, say, this campaign drove 10,000 extra card swipes this month, then the whole conversation about the loyalty budget changes. It's not a cost anymore.
It's an investment with a measurable return.
Exactly.
But hang on, let me be devil's advocate for a second. For these huge organizations, just rewarding volume, even passively, feels safer, maybe? Simpler. The tricky part must be proving that marginal value, right? How do you know the reward caused the action? They weren't going to do it anyway. That's where the skepticism comes in, surely.
Absolutely. That's the million-dollar question, or maybe billion-dollar in this context. The rigor of measurement is everything. This isn't just about spraying points and hoping for the best.
So how do you prove it?
Well, the modern engagement platforms, the ones driving this shift, they rely heavily on sophisticated techniques, deep segmentation, running control groups, A/B testing, randomized trials.
Like proper scientific method applied to marketing.
Pretty much. You don't just look at the total number of transactions, you measure the delta, the uplift. What happened in the group that got the nudge compared to an identical group that didn't? When you can clearly show, say, 80% of the activity from the campaign group was genuinely additional.
Then the skepticism starts to fade.
It dissolves pretty quickly, yeah, because the numbers speak for themselves.
Which brings us nicely to some actual proof. This isn't just theoretical. Let's talk about Capitec Bank in South Africa. They're a major player there.
The leading bank, yeah. And they didn't just talk about this shift, they actually did it. And the results were, frankly, stunning.
Okay, so what did they do? How did they move from passive to proactive?
Well, first, they essentially ditched the old passive point system entirely. They brought in a dynamic in-app engagement platform built for this kind of behavioral approach.
In the app itself?
Right inside the banking app.
Oh.
And their strategy was clever because it leaned into behavioral science. Specifically, gamification, but not just random games. Gamification centered on clear, visible progress.
Progress towards what?
Towards completing valuable actions. So instead of do X, get Y points, they created little journeys or challenges.
Like a quest.
Exactly. A customer might get a challenge like boost your security, and it would have maybe 3 steps. Complete your KYC, set up 2FA, make your first digital payment.
Okay, a sequence.
A sequence. And completing the sequence didn't just earn points, it might unlock a higher account status or maybe a better interest rate on savings. They gave people like a progress bar, instant feedback, made it feel achievable.
That visual progress, that sense of completion, that's powerful psychology. People want to finish things.
Hugely powerful. And the results, well, they speak volumes. Hit a 37% monthly active user ratio. That's across a 14 million user base.
Yeah.
Phenomenal engagement.
37% MAU.
Wow.
And was that activity tied to the campaigns?
Directly. Those gamified, progress-based campaigns generated 8.2 million specific trackable campaign-powered transactions.
8.2 million transactions they can attribute to these nudges. And the value.
Over $67.9 million in additional transaction value just from these campaigns.
$68 million. That's serious money.
And here's the kicker for the finance folks. They achieved a 1.2x return on investment.
Meaning for every dollar they spend on the program?
They got $1.20 back in just 7 months.
ROI positive in 7 months. That is incredibly fast for this kind of initiative.
It demonstrates the core point perfectly. They weren't just making customers feel warm and fuzzy. They were actively building revenue by changing behavior at scale. They figured out how to monetize engagement.
Okay, so the evidence is there.
Yeah.
The ROI is there. Capitec proved it works globally. Why then are so many other large enterprises, you mentioned Asian banks and telcos specifically, struggling with this? Why are they lagging behind? If you can get 1.2x ROI in 7 months, what's stopping them?
Yeah, it's a paradox, isn't it? The friction overwhelmingly is internal. It's almost never about the customer not wanting it or the basic business model being wrong. It's organizational inertia.
Meaning, what kind of inertia?
Things like, well, multi-layered approval chains, turning a simple campaign idea into this 6-month bureaucratic marathon. Compliance, red tape, necessary, of course, but often applied so rigidly it just kills any speed or agility.
Right, the we've always done it this way mentality combined with layers of sign-offs.
Exactly. And then there's the big one.
Let me guess. Legacy IT.
Bingo! Legacy IT systems. We hear it all the time, but what it means in this context is data silos that don't talk to each other and integration that costs a fortune and takes forever.
So connecting the dots is the problem.
Precisely. The head of product wants to run a simple promotion linking, say, card spending to a better savings rate. But they need data from the CRM, the core banking system, and the old loyalty platform. IT has to build custom connections, APIs. It's slow, it's expensive,
Millions of dollars and months of work just to link things up.
which makes the kind of real-time, agile, proactive engagement we're talking about basically impossible. Your infrastructure just can't keep up.
And there must also be that sort of organizational mindset issue. Like, who owns engagement? Is it just seen as marketing's job?
That's a huge one. That wait for marketing to ask for it approach. It relegates engagement to a campaign function instead of seeing it as a core business driver owned by the people responsible for profit and loss.
Like the product heads, the lifecycle managers, the business unit leaders.
Exactly. They're the ones who own the P&L. The good news, though, is that all this resistance, the fear about legacy IT, the compliance paralysis, it tends to melt away pretty fast when those P&L owners see the clear, proven revenue math, like the Capitec numbers.
It always comes back to the numbers, doesn't it?
It has to. And the formula itself is actually quite elegant. It's simple.
Give us the simple version again. How does loyalty flip from cost to profit?
Okay. If the total cost of running your proactive engagement program, so the platform cost plus the actual rewards you pay out, if that total cost is less than the measurable additional transaction volume and value the program generates,
Then it's not a cost center anymore.
it's a profit center, plain and simple. The hard part isn't the math. It's often having the internal systems and, frankly, the courage to measure and report that generated value accurately and transparently.
That simplicity is compelling. Especially now, right? Think about the bigger economic picture, inflation, higher interest rates,
Yeah.
sitting still, being passive. That feels more expensive than ever.
It's becoming a matter of survival. Relying on just market growth to cover up internal inefficiencies, those days are kind of over. And look at the cost of getting new customers.
Acquisition costs, CAC, they've shot up, haven't they?
Dramatically. We're talking nearly 40% higher across major industries just since 2023. 40%.
Wow. You can't build a sustainable growth strategy purely on acquisition with numbers like that.
You really can't. Which means retention and, crucially, monetization of your existing customer base, getting more value from the customers you already have, those become the main levers for growth. Maybe
Yeah.
the only levers.
So doing this kind of proactive engagement isn't just a nice to have anymore.
It's mission critical. Using these modern platforms, the ones leveraging AI, gamification, behavioral science, to activate and influence the millions of customers already on your books. That's not optional now.
It's essential.
It's essential. And the faster companies cut through their internal red tape and actually deploy these tools, the faster they start turning engagement activity into actual measurable profit. So to kind of wrap it all up for you listening, the big companies, the banks, the telcos, they already have the key ingredients, right? They have the data, they have the huge customer bases, they have the brand recognition.
All the assets are there.
All the assets are there. What's often missing is just that organizational willpower, the courage to break through the internal barriers and make that fundamental shift from passively rewarding the past to proactively shaping a more profitable future.
And when they make that shift, engagement transforms. It stops being this fuzzy marketing metric nobody can quite pin down.
And becomes a hard number on the P&L statement, a measurable business outcome. It's the art and the science of driving loyalty that actually pays for itself, and then some.
Loyalty that pays. I like that. Okay, so the example really highlighted using those gamified progress-based campaigns. And we talked about how internal roadblocks like multi-layered approvals or legacy IT hold many others back. So here's a final thought for you, the listener. If you had a magic wand and could eliminate just one piece of internal red tape in your own organization tomorrow, just one single barrier, what change do you think would unlock the most valuable proactive engagement in your specific field? Which logjam needs breaking first? Something to think about. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.